Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, let me break the news for you. Hungary is no more a democracy. That's been determined by some other countries who think that their values are the values, and Hungary's values are not the values, are just suggestions. And Hungarian people must change their behavior, otherwise I don't know exactly what they have in store for Hungary. So someone warned Hungary about this. I not only Hungary but other countries as well, and the European Union and NATO. But let's go and read this article coming from Associated Press from September 15th, 2022. EU lawmakers declare that Hungary is no longer a democracy. All right. European Union lawmakers on Thursday declared that Hungary has become a, I'm quoting, hybrid regime of electoral autocracy under the leadership of its nationalist government, that is a government that loves the nation, and that is undermining of the bloc's democratic values and take Hungary out of the community of democracies. I don't think so. I think the Hungarians vote as much as other countries allow their citizens to vote. I didn't see any evidence to support that, but we know all this is political. So in a resolution that passed 433 to 123 with 28 abstentions, the parliamentarians raised concerns about Hungary's constitutional and electoral system, judicial independence, possible corruption, public procurement irregularities, pay attention, LGBTQ plus rights, as well as media, academic and religious freedoms. As a normal person, or let's say average, let's put it, a human being, my observation of a few societies that I lived in, others that I read about, I paid attention. A lot of countries qualify for this. Everything was written here with the exception of LGBTQ+. So I can use all this, Canada's constitutional and electoral system, judicial independence, possible corruption, public procurement irregularities, mass media, academic and religious freedoms. All these things I can put them in Canada, even in Romania, even in the United States, in France. What are you talking about? I didn't see any evidence to support the allegations brought forth against Hungary, but let's read further. The lawmakers said that Hungary, which its populist Prime Minister Viktor Orban characterizes as an illiberal democracy, has left behind many of the democratic values of the bloc. Like what? What democratic values? Everybody can vote over there. In part, they blame the other 26 EU member countries for turning a blind eye to possible abuses during Orban's 12 years in office. So, the French Greens parliamentarian who championed the resolution, through the Assembly, and said for the first time an EU institution is stating the sad truth that Hungary is no longer a democracy. Okay. In the text, the lawmakers condemned the deliberate and systematic efforts of the Hungarian government to undermine the founding values of the Union. Maybe the values that you think are values, that I always say, there's one person who comes with an idea. There's not three persons in the same time. It's one person who comes with an idea and say, this is the new value. And then he convinces five, and then they are six together. And then they go and they put that forward somewhere else, and so on. That's how the values are created. They're not values coming from society. It's not like, oh my God, friends decided all of a sudden that, let's say, pedophilia is a value. No, someone came with that idea and pushed it forward politically. I mean, even if you take with LGBTQ plus, minus, and so on, these kind of things. All right, maybe in Hungary there's not a value. Maybe in their culture, maybe in their society, maybe their traditions. Maybe they don't want that to be a value. Maybe they say, no, that's not a value for Hungarians. Can they say that? And if they can't, because that's a value somehow of Europe, then Hungary needs to go. And as Putin said, he said for each of these countries, Lithuania, Hungary, Poland, and so on, that joined an organization, an alliance, they gave up some of their freedoms, some of their liberties, autonomy, and all that. Like these guys here, they have to accept certain things, and they can't say no, because if they say no, you're called not a democracy. Hungarian government, okay, the vote is highly symbolic in that it sets Hungary apart from other European countries who follow the script in its alleged failure to uphold values enshrined in the Euro Treaty like respect for human dignity, freedom, democracy, equality, the rule of law, and respect for human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. I can't even comment, it is so stupid, but anyway, what can I say? The costs for the Hungarian citizens are clear. They are having their rights removed and opportunities undermined, all while their state is stripped apart by autocrats and oligarchs. Okay, that's a weasel from the parliament over there. Lawmaker, that's what I called it. Well, Hungary's foreign minister, Peter Szijjártó, said Thursday during news conference in Budapest that Hungarian voters had decided in 4 parliamentary elections in a row what kind of future they want for the country by electing Orban and his party. Clear and nice. I love that guy. And I'm quoting again Peter. We resent that some people in Strasbourg and Brussels think that the Hungarian people are not mature enough to decide their own future, he said. Well, Hungary has long been on a collision course with European partners. You see, partners that don't let you have your own culture. That's not a partner. But anyway, the government in Budapest has opposed some EU sanctions against Russia, notably a freeze on the assets of Russia's Orthodox Church Patriarch, as well as energy-related sanctions against Moscow. So who's for the religious freedoms? The government of Budapest has opposed the sanction against the Russian Orthodox Church Patriarch. So who's for religion? Who's for individual freedoms and property? Didn't they say that here? That's exactly what I say, right? But they are just human dignity, freedom, equality, the rule of law, respect the human rights, including the rights of persons belonging to minorities. And before that, they said, well, they're just, they don't respect the religious freedoms, right here. And they contradict themselves over there. But they're so stupid. I don't even have to, I just have to say, and then I just have to say these kind of things because it's unbelievably stupid. Budget Commissioner Johannes Hahn says suspending around 70% of the funding to Hungary in some EU programs, notably related to public contract procurement, can be considered proportionate. It's unclear how much money that will involve. So they say you have to accept this, and if you don't accept what we tell you to accept, we're not going to give you money. Blackmail? A full suspension of EU funds is unlikely. Why do you need funds? This is what bothers me. You need funds. You can't do it on your own. Any action must be approved by the member countries, and this requires a qualified majority, which amounts to 55% of the 27 members, representing at least 65% of the total EU population. Some lawmakers have expressed concern that if Italy's far right wins the country's September 25th election, it could be difficult to establish that majority. They talk about democracy, and now they want to impose something. They're concerned with what the Italians will vote. They talk about democracy. They like democracy only when democracy works in their favor. When they lose, they don't like democracy. I'm not saying that we like to lose, right? So I don't think we don't like when someone else is winning and we're losing. So it's true, but you have to respect the will of your fellow citizen and follow the democratic system and rules. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.